In 1776, Queens was a quiet, rural patch of land, far removed from the crowded streets of Manhattan. Rolling hills, dense forests, and open fields stretched for miles, interrupted only by small villages and scattered farms. Families lived off the land, growing wheat and corn, tending livestock. Life moved with the seasons, and neighbors depended on one another for survival. Most residents were of Dutch or English descent, with a growing mix of other European settlers. Their homes were simple wooden structures, modest but sturdy, and the roads were little more than dirt paths connecting one village to another. Trade existed, mostly local, with some goods moving along the East River to Manhattan. But the pace of life was slow, predictable, and shaped entirely by nature. Then the war came. In August of 1776, British forces landed on Long Island, aiming to seize New York and split the colonies. Queens, lying directly between Manhattan and the rest of Long Island, became a critical piece in the struggle. The borough's forests and hills, once peaceful and quiet, transformed into a battlefield. Farmers abandoned their homes, crops were trampled, and livestock was taken or killed. Families faced impossible choices. Some sided with the British to protect their property, others risked everything for the revolutionary cause. The Battle of Long Island, also called the Battle of Brooklyn, left a lasting mark. American troops, outnumbered and outmaneuvered, suffered heavy losses. Thousands were forced to retreat across the East River under cover of night, leaving homes, fields, and belongings behind. Local roads, once simple dirt paths, became strategic routes for marching soldiers, while creeks and forests offered both hiding places and obstacles. Even after the British victory, the landscape of Queens bore the scars of battle. Everyday life was turned upside down. Children watched soldiers march past their homes. Families hid in cellars to avoid raids, and communities struggled to rebuild. The economy of Queens shifted dramatically as farming and trade were disrupted, and uncertainty hung over every village. Yet despite these hardships, the resilience of the people endured. Farms were replanted, homes were repaired, and life slowly returned, even as the war raged on around them. Queens in 1776 was a place of stark contrasts. It was peaceful, yet filled with tension, rural, yet tied to the fate of a growing city, familiar, yet suddenly shaped by the chaos of war. The events of that year left deep marks on the land and its people, creating a hidden chapter in the story of New York City. What was once quiet farmland became part of a struggle that would define a nation, and the ordinary residents of Queens were forced into extraordinary circumstances, navigating survival, loyalty, and loss in a world transformed overnight. By the end of 1776, Queens had endured battles, occupation, and displacement, but the spirit of its communities survived. The forests, fields, and rivers that once shaped everyday life now held the memory of courage and sacrifice. A reminder that even the quietest corners of history can hold stories of resilience and change. But the events of that pivotal year left a legacy few remember, quietly shaping the course of the American Revolution and the city itself.